It's round 2 of the Probite British Rally Championship, and we are here in the Kielder Forest for the Carlisle Stages. This is home to Northern Europe's largest man-made lake and England's largest forest, and it's this forest that will be testing the best in Britain this weekend. William Crichton came oh so close to winning last year's title, and if his dominant first round win in the East Riding Stages was anything to go by, he's planning to go one better this time. Crichton leads his Irish compatriot Keith Cronin, with James Williams, Marion Evans and Callum Black in 3rd, 4th and 5th. It was an impressive first outing for junior WRC champion Romet Jurgensen, who rounds out the top 6. Romet, the latest young talent to join the M Sport team, whose headquarters are just a few miles from here. David Addison has more.
That's right, Holly. Just up the road from the Kielder Forest is Daventry Hall. It's home to Britain's most successful rally team, which can boast multiple world, European and British rally titles. Set in 115 acres of lush parkland, modern workshops contrast with the Cumbrian countryside. This is M Sport. It's a legendary name in the rallying world, and its founder, Malcolm Wilson, made his name in the BRC in the 1970s. The team continues to use the British Championship as a stepping stone to the European and World Rally Championships. 2023 British champion Adrian Formeau, the latest in the line of M Sport BRC champions to make the step up to the world stage. He achieved his first WRC podium in Sweden last year. And current Junior World Rally Championship champion Romet Jurgensen joins Gary Pearson in this year's lineup. Malcolm Wilson explains why the BRC is so important to the team.
It's a place now where it's great in the sense that it gives the driver more seat time, but also when you promote these young drivers into WRC, then they're not going to win, and that for me that has a big impact on their confidence. So I am a firm believer that if you can come to events like the BRC and win, that helps the career path, even speeds up the process, should we say, because they get the confidence of winning an event. We've certainly seen that with the likes of Elvin and Adrian. It was a big step.
I think it's something we all enjoy. It's a great training series for our mechanics, for our drivers, and for us. So it's a really nice it's a really nice thing to be part of. And you know, we continue to support year on year because we feel there is benefit from that.
With names like Marcus Gronholm, who led the team to back-to-back manufacturers' titles, and Sébastien Ogier, who helped the team to drivers and manufacturers' titles in 2017 and 2018, M Sport remains the gold standard for many teams to reach. Sébastien Loeb is another name in the M Sport pantheon of legends. And his victory in the Monte Carlo Rally in 2022 was the first in the hybrid era. During testing a couple of days before this event, we asked Romet Jurgensen, with so many superstar drivers to follow, if he felt any pressure to emulate them.
The opportunity that I have this year is quite mega, to be honest, and I just hope I'm able to prove that I'm worth it. And yeah, this time we get a really good test before the event as well, which is definitely good for the second round.
So who will be the next young talent to make their mark on the rallying world? The Junior BRC is a fantastic testing ground, and Motorsport Ireland are showing just how dominant they are, with Kyle McBride, Craig Rahill and Keelan Grogan all in the top 3. So we are all set for over 50 miles of gravel crunching action here in the Kielder Forest, and we have David Addison to talk us through it all.
The first stage is one that is really going to wake up the drivers, that's for sure. Ash Park is a short blast at just over 3 miles on gravel roads, and that means a good time in here will be a little over 3 minutes. Expect the times to be close, but mistakes to be punished. For the first time in his career, William Crichton is in car number 1, showing that he is seeded at number 1 for this event as the championship leader, having won the East Riding Stages. It's going to be interesting to see how that pressure affects him, if at all. Liam Regan, his loyal lieutenant, sits alongside him as they tackle their first gravel rally in the Toyota GR Yaris. And just to confirm, as you look at the dust in the air, this is not the Safari Rally. Keith Cronin continues to be the biggest threat to Williams' dreams of a first ever BRC title. For Keith, it's about equalling Jimmy McRae's record of 5 titles. Co-driver Mikey Galvin helping him on the way. But here's a man who has no right even to be on the start line. James Williams has had something of a week of it after an accident in Spain.
A heck of a lot of blood, sweat and tears, to be fair. Obviously we were in Spain last weekend for the European Rally Championship, ended up in an Armco fairly early on, which is unfortunate and caused a lot of damage to the car. I think we had less than a week to turn it around to get it back to Wales from the southern Spain. So first of all, just to get it back to the UK was a big trek. But the guys have done a fantastic job, got the parts we needed, put it together. For Wednesday night, we were ready to come. And then the truck broke down on the way up here. So it was a bit of a scramble job to get everything together. We went testing yesterday. We unfortunately had a problem with the turbo as well. And then the recce car broke down today. So it's just been a domino effect. I hope that's the end of it now.
So do we, James. His rally begins with Ross Whittock guiding him through Ash Park.
Flat right of a small crest, 120. Left entry, flat right of a crest, opens 50. Nips of a jump. Care 60 brake in, turn open full right plus clip. 120. Short, 3 left, minus, narrows, 40. 3 left, small cut.
Winner of the opening round, the MEM Castrol Toyota of Will Crichton, is looking to make it 2 out of 2 here, although an element of the day will be him learning about the Pocket Rocket Yaris on gravel. The 2023 National Asphalt Champion Callum Black is looking to prove he can cut it on gravel as well. In truth, he's done very few gravel rallies of late, so his pace here will be interesting. Jack Morton is the man next to him. Keith Cronin is charging, but the dust hanging in the air seems to affect him here. He loses 5 seconds. Elliot Payne has a bit more knowledge of this event than many of the others, so let's see if that translates into success for the man from Harrogate. Patrick Walsh enthusiastically calling the corners.
Speed out, 600, go, 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 go.
William Crichton is looking quick, but the word from earlier in the stage is that the others are matching, if not bettering, his times. That proves to be true as Crichton's first gravel run in the MEM Toyota puts him 3rd fastest, and he'll be frustrated with that news. The dust is a problem for Elliot Payne as he is only 16th through Ash Park. At least that gets him through without drama, but he's another driver who will be wanting to buy back time in the forests. The dust is courtesy of this man, Callum Black, who is 8th fastest in here, nearly 5 seconds up on Payne, but 5 down on the fastest time. Marion Evans, William Crichton's MEM Castrol teammate, is joined by Dale Furness in the co-driver's seat as they head to 7th fastest here. Keith Cronin is very nearly matching William Crichton's pace here, but the Citroen just falls short by half a second or so. It's 4th fastest for Cronin and Mikey Galvin. Here's a man who Malcolm Wilson told us he has very high hopes for. Estonia's Romet Jurgensen, with Sim Oya on the notes, is taking the battle to Will Crichton and to Keith Cronin. On the early stage splits, he's faster than both of them. Now, Max McRae still has a sore hand, but after taking a short break to let it heal after an accident on the first round of the British Championship, he's ready to go. Let's remind ourselves what happened last time out.
Oh no. Oh. Are you okay? I think I broke. Oh, okay?
Meanwhile, heading towards the end of the first stage, Romet Jurgensen is absolutely flying. He sets the fastest time and is over a second up on William Crichton. Gravel is the Estonian's preferred surface, so perhaps it's no surprise to see the pace here. And while one stage doesn't make a rally, he served intent. Hang on though, that sore hand is clearly not a hindrance to Max McRae. He slots into second spot, a second or so behind Jurgensen. That's a really positive return after his accident. Gary Pearson isn't as quick as teammate Romet Jurgensen. He's nearly 3 seconds adrift, but it's still enough to put him fifth, just behind Keith Cronin. Hannah McKillen is in charge of the instructions.
Here's a 7 short 6 left minus. Don't keep over finish. Then entry right very long.
But Romet is not happy about the dust out there. He should try being a camera operator.
Romet, we feel very lucky to see an Estonian driver on some British gravel. Do you think you'll be able to give the British crews a run for their money today?
Yeah, if you can get the gaps to 2 minutes, then yes, because now it was just full of dust. So yeah, we lost so much in the beginning. So yeah, I hope we can put it to 2 minutes.
Well, there we have it. The first few cars are through SS1 and it is young Estonian Romet Jurgensen that is in the lead. But we all know how quickly things can change in rallying, so be sure to join us after the break where there will be plenty more action. Well, we know the names of our BRC drivers, but how well do we really know them? From this rally and for each of the ones following throughout the season, we're going to be asking the big questions, starting with Mr. Elliot Payne.
We will see how Elliot gets on stage 2 in a minute, but the 12.5 mile Kershop stage is an absolute beast. Fast in places, tight in others, this is going to be a real challenge for the crews, especially in the dust. There's a fair climb to the stage as well after 3 miles, while speed and precision will count for a lot in here. Mistakes here will be punished severely, and we're looking at times of around 12 minutes for the really quick crews. It's not often that William Crichton finds himself chasing others, but after that short first stage, that's exactly where he finds himself. But he really has put his foot down, and he looks incredibly quick to the naked eye. Remember, he was only 3rd fastest on the opening test, so he needs to pull back time here if he can, as he's still adapting to a new car for 2025 and how it behaves on gravel roads. A stage win in here is a must. Keith Cronin just doesn't seem to have an answer to Crichton, nor to Romet Jurgensen, the rally leader. With dust clouds billowing from the back of the Citroën, Keith seems to be struggling on the stages this morning. It seems his best hope now is to bank points for the championship assault.
3, 2...
On board with Callum Black and Jack Morton. This is what it feels like to be flat out in the forests.
3 left long. And very late, 2 right sharp. 80 line. 4 right minus. With flat left, 40. Long crest with shortish, 3 left into early 3 right opens.
Crichton certainly has the advantage of running first on the road, as there is no one ahead to kick dust in his face. That means he can focus fully on the road ahead as Liam Regan calls the notes, and the Toyota Yaris tries to take the rally lead. The championship leader is looking good so far on SS2. We told you we would keep an eye on Elliot Payne, and he's heading for a decent finish on this stage, although he is still looking at a 23-second gap to the leaders. He's 3 times a national gravel rally champion, so these stages should really suit him, although he is up against some really tough opposition. The main problem is running in the pack, so he is one of those having to cope with the dust. This is rally leader Romet Jurgensen, and he is looking very quick again. Maybe not quite as fast as Crichton this time, though. There's not going to be much between them, and this is developing into a really fierce fight. It's Jurgensen's first time on the event, but he's going really well. In case James Williams needed any more bad news, he hits a rock and a tyre comes off the rim. That costs him plenty of time. It drops him to 65th place, and he has to stop in the stage to change the wheel. That in turn badly affects Myrian Evans, who finds himself now within seconds of Williams, having changed the tyre, and so in a cloud of dust. James Ford overcooks it and loses a chunk of time. He drops places in the process. Tiny errors like that can have serious consequences on this punishing Kirchup stage. Our first sighting of Matthew Hurst with Declan Deere beside him, showing Ford how it's done. And they've had a really good run through this stage with a time that is 6th fastest. And indeed, it puts them 6th overall. Hurst is coping well with the conditions and becoming more of a threat mile by mile. Max McRae is still shifting, but just looks to be a little hesitant. That suggests that something is not quite right for the MRF tyres Citroën.
5 left minus 70.
Gary Pearson and Hannah McKillop are less than a second behind young teammate Romet Jurgensen on this stage. That moves them up to 4th overall. William Crichton finishes this round to clock a time of 12 minutes 0.2 seconds, and that looks very handy indeed. First on the road has proved to be critical for him, and that time is looking hard to beat. Keith Cronin stops the clock at 12 minutes 11 seconds, so he has hemorrhaged time here, and that is going to have serious consequences on the overall leaderboard. The recent long, dry spell of weather is now proving unpopular. Now this is the man we're waiting for, the leader after the first stage, M Sport's Romet Jurgensen, and he's around 2.9 seconds slower than Crichton. Abacus ready, that means he is just over a second behind Crichton now on the rally leaderboard. The battle is on! A word here for Scott Macbeth, and upon this blasted heath, he is the leader in the open category, in 7th overall. That's a really good effort from Macbeth and co-driver Daniel Forsyth. On the subject of good efforts, Joseph Kelly and James McBrearty lead the junior category, and already they have a real advantage, around 17 seconds between them and the next best, who is Carl McBride. The junior fight is as intense as ever. It's always nice to see a familiar face at these events, and this weekend, David Higgins comes back to the British Rally Championship stages. Keith Jones is in the seat alongside the multiple American rally champion, who is in a rather, for him, incongruous Ford Fiesta R2.
Full throttle the whole time. Yeah.
After a very promising start, Max McRae's engine cries enough at the end of the test. It's a big disappointment after looking really good, bouncing back from his accident on the first round.
Oh, she's just died. Yes, the clutch has gone to the floor.
The only stage they ran twice on this event is Buckfell, and at just over 10.5 miles, it's a real challenge. It rises and falls, it has an almost never-ending series of corners, and a good time will be around the 10-minute mark. As on the previous 2 tests, there is set to be a lot of dust hanging in the air thanks to the long, hot, dry spell in the recent weather. First in is William Crichton, the new rally leader, but with only 1 second of a margin. He still has to attack here. Again, he has the advantage of being first on the road, and that is proving vital as he goes for a second Probite British Rally Championship event win of the season. Poor James Williams just can't catch a break, can he? After all the woe before the rally started and then losing heaps of time with the puncture on SS2, he's on the back foot again. Here, though, he puts in a mega effort to go 4th fastest and move up to 23rd overall from 65th.
4 left plus. 60. 3 left plus continues. Open slow 2 minus clip.
Keith Cronin is closer to the pace in Buckfell as he goes 3rd fastest, but again he is slower than both Crichton and Romet, so in real terms he is still dropping time to them. It's a frustrating morning for Cronin. Close, but not close enough. Callum Black is on a mission as well. 5th overall coming into Buckfell. Black charges, but here he ends up dropping time to the leaders.
Flat 5 left, 200. 4 left minus in at lay-by. 150. 6 left long, tightens 3 sharp on brow. Go 130 down.
But here comes Romet Jurgensen. Now, remember, he was 1 second behind Crichton coming into this stage. It's very, very tight between them. Here, gravel specialist Jurgensen is looking really strong. The 25-year-old Estonian is impressing many so far today, and this could be a second stage win of the morning. Crichton, though, is stretching his legs now as he battles to keep up with the young Estonian. He's 7 seconds quicker than Keith Cronin and 13 seconds up on Pearson on this stage. Pearson is 3rd overall and Cronin 4th, so that's a good gap. And Keith Cronin is doing his best. He narrows the gap to Pearson to less than a second in their battle for 3rd place.
150 to the post. Flat.
Somebody who finally is quick is James Williams, who has found real speed on the Buckfell test, and he needed that after a testing week, as we heard him tell us earlier. 4th quickest on this stage for James brings him back up the order.
60. Late flat 2 left. Left over 150. Flat 2 right opens. 60.
It's been an uneventful day for Marion Evans and Dale Furness so far, but a top 7 finish just before the break for service helps to keep them within exactly 50 seconds of the leader. And that leader is this man. Romet Jurgensen just pips Crichton in this stage, but talk about close. There's 2 tenths overall between the top 2 as they head for service. Hoping to pick up on any mistakes from the top 2 is Gary Pearson. He's 15 seconds slower than Jurgensen on SS3 though, so he just has not been quick enough on this long stage. There's been an Irish get-together in the junior battle as Joseph Kelly, Kyle McBride and Jack Brennan are within 2 seconds of each other as they battle through Buckfell. Kelly still comfortably in the lead and certainly looking relaxed in the service area.
Well, as far as mornings go, that's not too shabby a one. You're rounding out the top 20 in a Rally 4 car. What's it been like inside?
It's felt pretty comfortable. We've had no big dramas or issues. It's steady going, and yeah, we're happy enough. The pace is quick. Everybody in the Rally 4 cars are going mad quick, like, so it's just keeping up. A couple of big slides and that, but nothing major. We're happy enough. Yeah, you never know. We might, if today goes to plan, we might maybe come back and do a couple more. But yeah, we're enjoying it. It's first time in Kielder. It's completely different anywhere. Yeah, but it's a brilliant rally.
A great start to the event for Rocket Romet Jurgensen, who is just ahead of William Crichton after the first 3 stages. It's Gary Pearson running third ahead of Keith Cronin, and their battle is a tight one as well, with Callum Black 5th and Elliot Payne going really nicely to round out the top 6. Matthew Hurst is 7th ahead of Marion Evans, with James Ford and Scott Macbeth rounding out the top 10. The final 2 stages to come after the break.
Welcome back to the Kielder Carlisle Stages. Now, this event stepped in last minute when the Severn Valley Stages could no longer go ahead due to severe wind damage in the Welsh Forest. And as you can see, running a BRC event like this takes some amount of coordination.
Well, Rally Headquarters, as you can see behind me, it's the centre and the hive of the activity where we have the radio control, so we're looking after all the radios. We have tracking, so we can track where all the cars are at all the times. We know when a car goes off, and we keep on top of what's happening. So if we have an incident, then we can send the rescues and recover it in to try and help the situation. I suppose it's the hive where everything happens, and we can keep control of the whole event.
So, service concluded and the cars are back out in the forests. This time it's the 12.83 mile Chirdonhead challenge with a lot of elevation change. We're 25 miles away from Carlisle, deep in the forests here, and this is a fast stage with relatively few tight or slow corners. Bravery counts for a lot in here, and it's also the longest stage of the event, plus it's the penultimate stage as well. That means if you lose ground in here, you don't have much rally left in which to make up lost time. William Crichton is trying to close that tiny gap on the leader, Romet Jurgensen. Just over 26 miles completed, and Crichton and Jurgensen are split by 0.2 of a second. But 4th place Keith Cronin isn't about to give this up just yet. He's 19 seconds off the leader, but has breathing space to the 5th place car, so he can afford to give this a real go. Keith dipping his toe in the ditch to prove the point. James Williams is out of the podium picture after his tyre issues on stage 2, but he was mega quick just before the service break and will be looking to grab some points.
70 up. Late flat 3 left plus clip. 100. Flat 2 left clip over crest, okay. 220. Flat right of a small bump. 130.
Will Crichton has the Toyota GR Yaris dancing as it pendulums its way through the stage. He's on the limit, no question, but can't afford to waste even a 1/10 of a second in this tight lead battle. Equally, he needs to bank points for the championship, but he's certainly adapting well to the Toyota on gravel. Bad news for Keith Cronin though. His engine cuts out on this stage and he loses 40 seconds to Gary Pearson, the man he was chasing for 3rd spot. If it weren't bad luck, Cronin would have no luck at all. Now here is a man who has really found his mojo. After a sparkling stage 3, James Williams is very quick here on stage 4. In fact, he's on target to post the 2nd fastest time. With Keith Cronin losing that time with his engine issue, Callum Black is now within striking distance to grab 4th place. In fact, he's now less than a second behind Cronin and really pushing hard. Elliot Payne and the animated Patrick Walsh are holding on to a solid top 10 position.
40, right 5, slippy, 20-40, right 5, slippy. And left 4 in over crest, 40.
And here comes Rocket Romet. It's between Jurgensen and Crichton now for the win. Another stage win beckons here for Jurgensen. Marion Evans is having one of his better showings in the BRC with a solid 4th place on Chirdonhead, and he moves into the top 6 overall, and that helps the Melvin Evans Motorsport squad in the Teams Championship. Crichton continues the chase, trying to balance speed with caution. He can't afford a single mistake. But Jurgensen won't be chased. With every thrust from Crichton, Romet parries with a similar time. James Ford and Neil Shanks are looking steady, if unspectacular, and heading for points in their Citroën C3. Matthew Hurst has been there or thereabouts all day, and he's 5th fastest on Chirdonhead, now just 0.2 of a second behind Marion Evans in 6th place. There are lots of tight duels all over the leaderboard on this second round of the British Rally Championship. But as Hurst charges through the stage, news comes that William Crichton has overcooked it at one of the chicanes, and that little mistake has dropped him 13 seconds behind the leader. This could be the deciding moment on this rally. Now, it is Jurgensen's event to lose, but he can't afford to slacken his pace. The news about Crichton won't reach Jurgensen until he gets to the end of this stage, but it's looking more and more likely that Romet and Sim Oja are heading for their maiden BRC victory.
Kesken, 50, parem 6 minuutissa, 20 osak läheb 14. 7. Parem 5 minuut, 20, parem 4.
To give you an idea of Jurgensen's dominance, James Ford, who is no slouch himself, runs around 40 seconds behind Romet on this stage. That said, a solid top 10 finish is on the cards. Romet Jurgensen's teammate Gary Pearson can only watch and wonder as he posts a top 6 stage time. He can't match Jurgensen's pace, but is looking comfortable in 3rd spot. Crichton will cross the line at 11 minutes 7.1 seconds. That's quick, despite the error at the chicane. But what is Romet Jurgensen up to along the stage? It's out of Crichton's hands now, as he has to hope that the Estonian makes a mistake. Crichton now has to get the car to the finish safely and bank points. Play the long game for the championship. A mistake from Jurgensen is looking unlikely, though, as he is both quick and controlled. The clock will tell the tale, but to the naked eye, he is about to open up a decent-sized gap, and that is going to be crucial with just one stage to go. That first BRC win beckons for Jurgensen. Keith Cronin is back running again, but that engine problem has taken him out of the podium picture for now. The engine cut out and the crew doesn't know why, so there is that constant fear that it might happen again. Matthew Hurst hasn't had a problem though. 5th on this stage and moving comfortably through the top 10. He's only around 16 seconds off a podium spot. That's a really impressive run with one more stage to go.
80.
But for a disaster on the 2nd stage, James Williams would almost certainly be pushing for a podium.
Flat 2 left.
Here, the time is 11 minutes 6.7 seconds. That's half a second quicker than William Crichton. A job well done.
Into flat 2 left, tightens 2. Okay.
But talk about outstanding. Oh my days. Romet Jurgensen is 13 seconds ahead of James Williams, but more importantly, nearer 14 seconds quicker than William Crichton through here. Are we seeing the changing of the guard now at the Carlisle Stages? Romet Jurgensen now 13.5 seconds clear of William Crichton overall. Kyle McBride is chasing Joseph Kelly for junior honours, but he won't be chasing him much longer. This is a big off. Remember, Kyle was sitting atop the junior standings in the championship after his win on the East Riding Stages. The good news is that everyone is okay, but that is the end of his rally, and it shows how hard these stages can bite if you put a wheel wrong.
1 out. 1 out.
It's a very badly damaged car. It's also a long way off the stage. It's the end of the day for Kyle McBride.
Right, both okay, both okay.
So Joseph Kelly is now 35 seconds clear of Jack Brennan in the junior BRC lead battle, and he needs to keep out of trouble. Jack Brennan is around 35 seconds behind Kelly. It will take a mistake from Joseph for that gap to narrow significantly. All to play for then for the junior front runners and for the British Rally Championship teams. We're back very soon with the deciding moments of the Kielder Carlisle Stages. It's back to Buckfell for the last stage of the Kielder Carlisle Stages, the only stage used twice. At 10.72 miles, it was Romet Jurgensen who topped the times here earlier, with the clock stopping at 9 minutes 59.8 seconds. Now, with knowledge of the stage and a feel for the grip levels, expect them to push even harder. There's quite a gap between Jurgensen and Will Crichton with one stage to go. And so, for the last time today, car number 1, William Crichton, leads the way on the road, but not on the results board. He's got 13.5 seconds to make up on Romet Jurgensen. A reminder that the Estonian enjoyed a tiny advantage when they ran this stage earlier today. It's definitely a case of what might have been for this man, James Williams. After a roller coaster of a week, he'll just be glad to get to the finish unscathed.
Late 3 left minus, continue slippy. 60 up, small crest, late fast, 4 left plus. 60, 3 left plus continues, open slow, 2 minus clip, into crest, and 3 right minus, don't go wide.
Keith Cronin looks to have blown any chance of a win with that earlier problem when the engine cut out. And Callum Black is breathing down his neck for 4th spot, so he needs to hold firm as there are valuable points still to play for. Black, though, seems to be finding this stage a challenge and never looks like hauling in Cronin.
2 left plus in, open 5 long, K, tightens, keep in, and flat 6 left, 80 over brow.
He even has to pass a stranded car from the Clubman's rally.
100.
Crichton is on the pace of Jurgensen, but that isn't enough. He needs to be faster and by some margin. It looks as though the championship leader is going to be denied here, despite a stage win on SS2, but at least it's good for the championship. Marion Evans never really looked like winning here after his battle with the dust earlier on, but he will settle for 7th after a solid run, and it's more points for the family team. But this man has been looking like winning pretty much from the off. Romet Jurgensen has proved why Malcolm Wilson of M Sport has so much faith in him, and also just how at home he is on gravel. Crichton posts a 9 minutes 42.9 time. That's quick, but not enough to overhaul Jurgensen. It's still, though, around 18 seconds faster than he went earlier in the day. It's 2nd place in the rally, though, to Will Crichton. And Keith Cronin's time is 9 seconds slower than Crichton, so will that be enough for a podium? Keith is battling with Gary Pearson and is 20 seconds behind coming into this stage, so he needs to push. But for the engine cutting out on SS4, it could have been a podium for Cronin here. A top 5 spot for Callum Black is confirmed after a trouble-free run all day.
3 left sharp, cut past the junction. 100. Flat 6 left minus, long over brow, and late 4 right plus.
In 6th are Matthew Hurst and Declan Deere. A very satisfactory day's work for them in the Skoda Fabia. But no one has had a more satisfactory day than Romet Jurgensen. Here it's tight. He's only 9/10 quicker than Crichton on this stage, but overall, It's just over 14 seconds of a margin. A first win for the Estonian in the British Rally Championship, having been fastest on 4 of the 5 stages. Success for Romet Jørgensen on the Kielder Carlisle Stages. Teammate Gary Pearson takes it easy on this last stage to protect his 3rd place. So it's a 1-3 for M Sport.
255. Care, turn 9 right, seat over finish, slipping. 150.
David Higgins was cruising to victory in the BRC 4 category until a tyre came off its rim on a tight left-hander, and David ended up in a ditch. It had been great to see him here up to that point. But Higgins' bad luck meant that Megan O'Kane and Nikki Addison took their 2nd straight win in the category. By the way, we'll be taking an in-depth look at how rallying is welcoming females across all sectors of the sport in our next programme at the Jim Clark Rally. There was a start-to-finish victory for Joseph Kelly in the juniors, which is no mean feat in this ultra-competitive class. But there was cruel luck for Sam Mason and James Seymour, who were heading for a class podium until the car gave out within sight of the finish.
Okay, just get to the end.
What do I do?
And then just slow, it's all right, get over the finish,
Yeah.
Ignore it for now, And then get over the finish, and then just go to road mode, into neutral, just coast.
But there were no such problems for Romet Jørgensen, who took that maiden victory and really announced himself on the BRC stage. 2nd to Will Crichton, ahead of Gary Pearson, Keith Cronin 4th, with Callum Black and Matthew Hurst rounding out the top 6. Marion Evans 7th from Elliot Payne, with James Ford and Scott Macbeth completing the top 10. The top 3 very happy crews could celebrate at the rally finish, with Romet Jørgensen victorious here in Kielder.
Okay, the morning, as I told you before, it was a bit annoying with the dust, but I mean, after stage 3, the winds got stronger and it was really enjoyable. Already after the wreck, I understood that it's gonna be really nice stages, which I should enjoy because it's similar to Estonia, you know, and I did.
It's frustrating whenever you do a good stage and you mess it up right at the end. So yeah, we dropped quite a bit of time there, and then obviously that made it difficult going into that last one. But we had a clean run, but it wasn't enough to get back the time that we had lost.
So what does all this do to the championship? The answer is that Will Crichton still leads by 10 points from Romet Jørgensen, and he's only 3 ahead of Keith Cronin. Callum Black is 4th ahead of Marion Evans, then Gary Pearson tied on points with James Williams. They're 2 ahead of Matthew Hurst, with Elliot Payne and Neil Roskell rounding out the top 10. For the junior BRC drivers, it was a first-come, first-served situation as Joseph Kelly scores victory on his first visit, Jack Brennan and Callum Graffin joining him on the podium. But will we see Joseph Kelly back on the junior podium? He said he was only coming for this event.
Yeah, I loved every mile of it. Just delighted to get the win. We didn't expect it at all this morning. The competition's so high here, and yeah, we're just delighted. I don't know what to say to you, to be honest. We're just very happy.
And as far as the junior BRC standings are concerned, it's a 3-way tie. Joseph Kelly, Carl McBride, Callum Graffin, all on 25 points apiece. Scott Macbeth and Daniel Forsyth took their Skoda Fabia to the top of the open category. An impressive day's work. And it was 17th overall, but top honours in the national class for James Giddings and Alan Davis in their Mitsubishi. The Irish dominance in the juniors means that the race and rally team with 3 cars leads the team standings, with the Castrol MEM squad in 2nd.
Well, it has been another adrenaline-filled BRC round, and it's attracted fans from all over the country. Have you enjoyed it? Yeah! Well, we've certainly enjoyed seeing your fan footage. Here's the best of it. congratulations to Romet Jurgensen and Sim Oya. They certainly are looking like the crew to beat on gravel. But come May, we're back on tarmac for the Jim Clark Rally. We'll see you there.